The $550 AirPods Max are the top-of-the-line noise-canceling headphones from Apple. They are heavy, overpriced, don't really fold up well for travel, but offer best-in-class noise canceling, have great sound, and the transparency mode is industry-leading. Despite lacking portability and simple features like a headphone jack, they're a pretty good headphone if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. Let's get into my experience with the AirPods Max. I picked up the AirPods Max because the AirPods Pro are sometimes uncomfortable in my ears. Somehow still my ears get hot and sweaty even wearing in-ear headphones. Now, this isn't a problem specific to AirPods Max. If I use Beats Fit Pro that I run in, also call them Beats Pods. If I use my Beats Pods for running, the same thing happens from time to time. So I wanted to get an over-ear option. The second thing I was looking for was easy connectivity to Apple TV because I am hooked on Severance and I wanted to watch the latest episodes every week without waking up the entire house by using the soundbar. And lastly, I picked up the Starlight color because it was the closest thing to white this year, and I figured I didn't need another pair of black headphones. And the two other colors, the purplish color and the orange, were just a little bit too bright for my personal aesthetic. First off, how do they fit and feel when they're on your head? Comfort has long been an issue for me with over-ear headphones because of wearing glasses. Typically, I don't have any issues with headphones like the ATH M50X or the Sony XM3 that I have. Those have soft enough ear cups and good support, and the clamping force isn't too high that it's squeezing the glasses in, basically digging into my head while I'm wearing them. And the AirPod Max are just okay in this department. For some reason, they have a really tight clamping force, I think. I've heard a lot of people call these the most comfortable headphones that they've ever worn. And the ear cups tend to dig in on the top of my head. It's almost like they need to expand out and have a little bit more play in the ear cup so it sits more flush around my ear. Right now, I do get a lot of pressure around the top of the ear, and that unfortunately does kind of dig into where my glasses are going around my ears. Now, it's not terribly uncomfortable, but it is tight, and there's no real great way to stretch these things out because the adjustment is all metal, as is the band that goes around your head that's rubber coated. So you can try to pry them apart and fatigue the metal over time. That may loosen them up as I wear them more, but I knew this going in because I had tried out the initial AirPods. I've got the USB-C version here, and obviously Apple really didn't change anything on these headphones other than the USB-C port. So comfort-wise for me, though, the headband is a great improvement. When I wear the XM5s on XM5s, I've got the XM3s. When I wear the Sony XM3s on flights or longer than maybe 45 minutes, the headband starts to dig in to the top of my head and is really uncomfortable. The ear cups are great on those Sonys, but I just can't stand them for longer than, like I said, 45 minutes. So I'd have to bring the AirPods Pros along with me when I travel anyways and swap headphones if I'm on a long flight. So that's kind of annoying. Now, I haven't traveled with the AirPod Max yet, but I've worn them to watch plenty of episodes of Severance now that are an hour long, and I don't have major discomforts by the end of those listening sessions. I don't think because of the weight that these are something that you're going to want to wear all day long, and I definitely wouldn't go for a run in these headphones, but they are manageable if you're sitting on the couch or at your desk and not moving around a whole bunch. And I should note that I am hypersensitive and super picky about all of this stuff. So these little things about fit and finish of the headphones Maybe I'm more sensitive than some other people would be, and everybody's head and ears and, all these things are different. So your mileage may vary. The best option that you have is definitely going into the Apple store, trying them on. They'll let you do a demo. That way you can also hear how they sound as well, because in this video review, I have no way to get across to you how great I think these sound, but that's also to my ears. So like I said, your mileage may vary. Head into the Apple store, go try them on. That's the benefit, I guess, of having Apple stores around and still having a physical location that you can go into and try some of these things out. And at the beginning of the review, I mentioned the portability or lack thereof, and this stupid purse case is back. In typical Apple fashion here lately, you kind of have to ask yourself, like, what is going on at Apple that they're making some of these decisions? But I also mentioned they didn't really change anything in these headphones aside from the USB-C port, which unfortunately means this purse case that allows the headphones to go into their deep sleep, low power mode is unfortunately back again for the USB-C version of the AirPods Max. And at $550 MSRP, this is just ridiculous. I mean, the other noise canceling headphones options come with better cases, and most of them fold up into a much smaller footprint. So when you need to throw AirPods Max into your backpack, you've got to have the full footprint of the headphones to slide them down into the backpack if you want to bring the case along, which is annoying, and that might impact what bag you're choosing. I know if I've got a camera bag that opens from the back that has camera lens, dividers inside of it, there really isn't a great way in a lot of those packs to put AirPods Max anywhere in there for travel. So just keep that in mind if that's something that you do often. I guess the other option is you could wear them around. You could wear them through the airport and have them out of your bag the entire time as well. What you do with it when you get to your destination, I have no idea, but definitely keep that in mind if you travel often. So were these things a $550 mistake? Well, not really. I ended up purchasing them on sale from Apple for $480. That's a pretty solid discount, but that's about as low as I've seen them go. But was a big enough discount to get me to jump on it. Apple products don't go on sale very often unless you're buying previous generation. And actually the Lightning design, I've seen them hold their price at this point because they offer the ability to be hooked up to a headphone jack as well. So I still think closer to $400 would be a more fair price in the US. That would maintain this, illusion that Apple has upmarket luxury products that's still more expensive than Sony or Sonos. But when you start to look at those competitors and compare features, you ask yourself why the AirPods Max cost as much as they do. Then you might compare them. Sony XM3s I've mentioned a few times throughout this video. The noise cancellation is pretty good in the XM3s. But the transparency mode is nothing short of awful after you've tried the AirPods Max. They definitely have industry-leading algorithms for transparency mode, and the noise cancellation on the AirPods Max is just worlds above what I get on the Sony XM3. And none of this really matters if the sound that's coming out of them isn't any good. So your noise cancellation and your transparency mode are paired with, yet again, an amazing sound in the AirPods Max. Like I said, they didn't change the drivers for this generation or update, and that's a good thing. The original ones were really good, very clear. They have a nice profile. It's definitely not a flat or reference profile. There's some EQ tuning and things going on. But I am seriously impressed with the bass response, and when watching like TV shows or movies on the Apple TV with the AirPods Max on, it's a seriously impressive sound stage, at least to my ears. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile by any means, but I've had my fair share of pretty good headphones over the years and still use a variety to this day. And other features on these headphones, the digital crown is back. It's a great and intuitive way to control the volume and go forward and backwards for tracks on the headphones. And you have a single button press to switch between transparency mode, noise cancellation, or you can have all of those off if you like as well. The pairing is super fast with all of your different devices, so they connect up to your computer, your phone, your iPad, your Apple TV even. And that whole experience is still one of the best things that Apple does. The quick pairing, the ability that you pull them out of this stupid case, and then as you hold them next to your phone, you can see the battery life that you have remaining before you put them on. That's a great feature to have as well. USB-C charging, I'm done with Lightning. And by saying done with Lightning, I've got a keyboard for my computer, trackpad, and a work phone that all still use Lightning, while my main device is now the 16 Pro and has USB-C. I'm trying to still USB-C all the things slightly unsuccessfully. So my closing thoughts here, I missed my return window on the AirPods Max. I bought them and figured, well, I'll try these out for a week, see if I like them, see how the fit is, see if they actually work well with the Apple TV for watching Severance. And I got sick the week I was supposed to return them. I had it in my calendar, and the day came and went, and I just said, you know what, whatever. Despite the high price tag, the sound quality, the fit, the finish, the quick pairing, the ability to use these with Apple TV, all of those pluses outweigh the minuses of lack of portability, the weight, and the stupid case. For me, at least. So I wasn't too broken up about it, and I am going to continue to use the AirPods Max. They're definitely not the headphone that I reach for every day, and you can't use them for things like video editing effectively. There's a lot of lag over Bluetooth with no ability to hardwire these things in. So I'd say if you're looking at the AirPods Max, the MSRP is just way too high. I don't know who's paying $550 for these and feeling like they got a good deal. Even at $480, it's like, yeah, relative to the MSRP, I got a good deal, but it's still more money than I'd want to spend on a pair of headphones. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you using the AirPods Max, or are you sticking with something like the Sony XM5 or Sonos headphones? That's it for this week. We'll catch you next time. Later.